Our local coverage continues now with a look back in time. It's hard to believe, but it's been 5 years since the December debacle, where several inches of poorly timed snow crippled Rhode Island, stranding drivers on the highway and then leaving kids stuck on school buses for hours. Meteorologist Pete Mangione is in the weather yard with a look at that history-making storm.
From a snow amount perspective, the storm wasn't that impressive, but the December debacle still goes down as one of the most disruptive storms in Rhode Island history. It was the rush hour that wouldn't end.
It's been an hour. I left work at 1 o'clock. 1:15, that's going about 4 miles.
4 miles in an hour? Wow.
Snow started just after lunch on that Thursday afternoon in December, and many commuters, school buses, and children didn't make it back until late that night. The storm was actually modest in size and was not unexpected. Snow had been in the forecast since the night before. So what happened? Timing seemed to be everything, as almost everyone in the state went to work in the morning and then tried to head home early that afternoon. The combination of the high traffic volume, snow removal trucks, and the slow conditions was just too much for the roads to handle. Poor planning and preparation were also blamed as city and state officials faced heavy criticism in the aftermath. An independent commission made recommendations on how the state could better prepare for future storms, including making the call on canceling school the night before the storm. If recent history is any judge, the recommendations may be working. The debacle put down over 8 inches of snow at TF Green Airport. Since then, we've had many storms which are much deeper than that, but so far, no repeat debacles. I'm meteorologist Pete Mangione, Eyewitness News.
New at 5, the state of Rhode Island pays thousands of dollars following a lawsuit over the infamous December debacle snowstorm. The ACLU sued the state for failing to turn over documents related to its handling of the storm, which created historic traffic gridlock and left students stranded on school buses for hours. A Superior Court judge sided with the ACLU and ordered the state to pay $5,500 in legal fees. The ACLU says the state paid the fine instead of appealing.
All right, thank you, Tony. And remember this, 10 years ago today, we were dealing with the infamous December debacle. The ill-timed winter storm left school children stranded on buses for hours after they were dismissed early, and cars were also left stranded on the highways.
10 years later, the DOT says they've learned a lot from that storm and taken steps to improve snow removal so it doesn't happen again. Eyewitness
News reporter Kim Kalunian joins us now from the newsroom with more, new at 5:30.
It's a day Rhode Islanders remember all too well. Many folks got stranded despite their best attempts to beat this snow. But the DOT says, thankfully, times have changed.
Even the ambulances had a hard time getting through the snow on December 13th, 2007. It's now known as the December debacle, and it left drivers stuck in gridlock traffic, school buses stranded, some with children still on board. Some of you remember it well, writing on our Facebook things like 11 hours from Mansfield, Massachusetts to Oneyville with my 6-year-old, and one day I'll never forget. Rhode Island DOT Director Peter Alviti says they've learned about preparedness from that day 10 years ago.
The lessons that have been learned is creating a maintenance workforce and the related equipment necessary to be able to fight those kinds of situations and those kinds of snowstorms. But more importantly, the planning that goes into it.
Alviti says this year they've already planned well ahead for the snow season, and they also have new forecasting technology and a new management structure that allows them to adapt more quickly to changing weather. On Tuesday, RIDOT showed off 15 new trucks, and new staff is being added too. Alviti says it all helps to avoid another day like this one.
And I'm not saying that we won't have some minor issues or problems that we encountered, but I think we're much better equipped and much better prepared now than we were even 2 years ago.
And I also reached out to the Providence Public School Department today to see what lessons they drew from that December debacle 10 years ago. They tell me they now avoid early dismissal, early release of students because it contributed to some of those traffic headaches that people saw back in 2007. They also have snow days built into their calendar, potential snow days, 5 days of them each year. And they say, just like the DOT, there is plenty of planning. In the newsroom, I'm Kim Kalunian, Eyewitness News.